take any more than 3 minutes
sure,
of your time.
Sure.
Mike Stark with Senator Casey talking about Afghanistan. Are you inclined to support the president's plan?
Well, I said the other day that I wanted to study his proposal a lot more. I've got a lot of questions. Most of the questioning that I have will involve three areas, and they're the areas that I think most people analyze the challenge we have. One is security, and all of the questions that revolve around security, and obviously troops are part of that. The second question is governance, and that involves a lot of questions, but principally questions that relate to President Karzai. I've got a lot of concerns about his ability or reluctance or whatever the problem is that he has in not doing what we need him to do, what he needs to do for his own country, his own people. I met with him back in August, and I candidly came away stunned at how lacking in urgency he seemed to be to get things done in terms of anti-corruption services to his people and helping us be able to transition out.
May I interrupt a second? You saw the New York Times report that said that Ahmad Karzai's brother is on the CIA payroll and is also a narco trafficker. We're insisting on accountability from them. Can we say that with a straight face? We can't get accountability from Ben Bernanke with what he did with $1.2 trillion. We immunized telecom companies that spied on us, and the CIA is paying off a narco trafficker who's the brother of Ahmad Karzai. I mean, can we ask for accountability with a straight face over there? It's a wasteland half a world away.
I think we have to. And part of the role of the Congress is to insist on that kind of accountability. It will never be perfect, but we have to do a much better job than we've been doing, because he hasn't brought the kind of services to his people that will allow not just his government to survive and his country to thrive, but also to allow us to get our forces out of there eventually. The third area is on development. That's obviously USAID, the Department of Agriculture, so many other parts of our government that are trying to help the Afghan people. But on these principal questions about how we get this strategy right, we got lots of questions. So I've been working for many, many months now on a lot of these questions, but I want to take at least a couple more weeks to ask the questions of the administration and then make a determination.
One last question that's being bandied about is, we're looking at a raise, another $30 billion on top of the $70 billion we're spending every year in Afghanistan to sustain this war. People are saying, if we spend $100 billion on healthcare in this country, we'd reduce a lot more suffering and save a lot more lives than we're ever going to save by fighting this war in this wasteland half a world away.
Well, we may not agree about the
wasteland part.
Well, the challenge that we face in Afghanistan. Here's the problem we have. If this were just a question of a sanctuary for Al-Qaeda or any other extremist group in Afghanistan, it would be complicated but simpler than what we have now. The problem we have now is not just a threat posed by Al-Qaeda and others in that border area between Afghanistan and Pakistan, but also just the question about Pakistan itself. If the bad guys are able to take over that government, destabilize it, and then take it over, then you have Al-Qaeda or groups like that with nuclear weapons. That changes the dynamic on everything. That's one of the things that I am most concerned about. Now, some think we can take care of that without having troops on the ground and all of that. That's a debate we're going to have, and that's one of the questions we want to ask.
Pakistan hasn't allowed Pakistan hasn't allowed the FBI to interview A.Q. Khan, the nuclear proliferator, out of Pakistan. I guess there's a lot more to talk about, and I know you've got a vote to take, but I'd love to pick up questions on A.Q. Khan in Pakistan.
Okay.
One more thing. Did you want to say something else?
I was going to say, as much as that relationship has been tense between our government and their government about some of these questions, I think it's better than it was. I think we're sharing more intelligence now, so it's improving. But no, we've got a long way to go. You're right.